Prince Rogers Nelson, born on June 7, 1958, and passing on April 21, 2016, was an iconic American singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, record producer, and actor. Widely recognized as one of the greatest musicians in history, he earned numerous awards and accolades. Known for his flamboyant androgynous style, expansive vocal range, which featured high falsettos and piercing screams, and his talent for playing multiple instruments, Prince often performed nearly all the instruments on his recordings. His music spanned a variety of genres including funk, R&B, rock, new wave, soul, synth-pop, jazz, blues, and hip-hop. As a self-producer, he was a pioneer of the Minneapolis sound. Born and raised in Minneapolis, Prince's mother, Mattie Della, was a jazz singer, and his father, John Lewis Nelson, was a pianist and songwriter. Both hailed from Louisiana, and Prince had a sister, Tyka, born 2 years after him. Music was central in their upbringing, with both siblings encouraged by their parents. Prince wrote his first song at the age of 7 on his father's piano. His parents divorced when he was 10, leading to a difficult relationship with his family. He moved between homes, eventually being kicked out by his father. Prince excelled in sports like football, basketball, and baseball at Central High School, and also studied at the Minnesota Dance Theater. Even as an adult, he continued to play basketball recreationally. At 19, he signed a record deal with Warner Brothers Records, releasing his debut albums For You, 1978, and Prince, 1979. His breakthrough came with the critically acclaimed albums Dirty Mind, 1980, Controversy, 1981, and 1999-1982. His sixth album, Purple Rain, 1984, recorded with his new band The Revolution, served as the soundtrack for the film in which he starred. The album was a monumental success, spending 6 months atop the U.S. Billboard 200 chart. Over his lifetime, Prince sold more than 100 million records worldwide, placing him among the best-selling music artists of all time. About Prince's cause of death. On April 7, 2016, Prince postponed 2 shows in Atlanta, releasing a statement saying he was recovering from the flu. He rescheduled for April 14th and performed his final show on that day, even though he was still feeling unwell. On a flight back to Minneapolis the next morning, Prince became unresponsive. His private jet made an emergency landing in Illinois, where Prince was hospitalized and received Narcan, a medicine used to block the effects of an overdose of opioids. After he was revived, he left, against medical advice. He was seen shopping at a record store, cycling, and at an impromptu dance party at Paisley Park the next day. A 911 call came in the morning of April 21st, requesting an ambulance be sent to Paisley Park. Prince was found unresponsive, and the paramedics performed CPR, but it was discovered that he had been dead for over 6 hours. On June 2nd, the official word was that Prince had died of an accidental overdose of opioid fentanyl. About Prince's personal life. Prince was romantically linked with many women over the years. In 1990, he saw 16-year-old dancer Maite Garcia standing outside his tour bus and referred to her as his future wife when pointing her out to bandmate Rosie Gaines. Garcia began working as one of his backup singers and dancers after graduating from high school. They were married on February 14, 1996, when he was 37 and she was 22. According to Garcia, she and Prince had a son named Amir, born October 16, 1996, who died a week after being born due to Pfeiffer syndrome. Attempts by publications to independently verify the child's name, birth, and cause of death proved difficult due to Prince's focus on privacy. The distress of losing a child and Garcia's subsequent miscarriage took a toll on the marriage, and the couple divorced in 2000. Prince married Manuela Testolini, a Canadian businesswoman of Italian and Egyptian descent, in a private ceremony. In 2001, she hails from Toronto, which led the couple to live there part-time. They separated in 2005 and filed for divorce in May 2006, which was finalized in October 2007. Prince followed a strict vegan diet and became a Jehovah's Witness in 2001. He didn't speak publicly of his philanthropy, but his humanitarian and charitable efforts were the subject of much publicity after his death. He He anonymously donated large chunks of cash to libraries and anonymously paid off the medical bills of various struggling musicians, as well as countless other acts of charity. About Prince's career. In 1973, Prince met songwriter and producer Jimmy Jam. Jimmy Jam was thoroughly impressed with Prince's musical talent and his mastery of a wide range of instruments. Prince created his demo tape in 1976 with producer Chris Moon in his Minneapolis studio. After initial failure to get a recording contract, Moon brought the tape to Minneapolis businessman Owen Husney, who signed Prince to a management contract. Husney helped him create a new demo tape that resulted in interest from dozens of large record companies. Prince signed with Warner Brothers Husney, and Prince left Minneapolis for Sausalito, California, to record his first album at Record Plant Studios. Prince released his first album, For You, on April 17, 1978. Prince wrote, arranged, composed, produced, and played all of the 27 instruments on the recording himself. Next, he released the self-titled album, Prince, in October 1979. This album catapulted him to fame with two hits, Why You Wanna Treat Me So Bad, and I Wanna Be Your Lover. In 1980, he released Dirty Mind, which became notorious for its sexually explicit material. Recorded in his own studio, the album went gold. 1981 marked Prince's first appearance on Saturday Night Live, performing Party Up. He toured in support of his next album, Controversy, opening for the Rolling Stones on their U.S. tour. From 1984 to 1989, Prince referred to his band as The Revolution. Prince had required his management to obtain a deal for him to star in a film, despite the fact that his exposure was still somewhat limited at this point. The deal resulted in the infamous hit film, Purple Rain, in 1984. Prince starred in it and did the soundtrack. The film was loosely autobiographical. Purple Rain sold more than 13 million copies in the U.S. It spent 24 straight weeks at #1 on the Billboard charts, and Prince won an Oscar for Best Original Song Score. Songs from the film, like When Doves Cry and Let's Go Crazy, became international chart toppers. In 1984, Prince had the #1 album, single, and film in the U.S. simultaneously, marking the first time a singer had ever obtained all three at the same time. One track off the album, Darling Nikki, resulted in the founding of the Parents Music Resource Center and the subsequent use of a now standard warning label that read Parental Advisory, explicit lyrics, on the covers of records that have been judged to contain lyrics not suitable for minors. Prince's next album after Purple Rain was Around the World in a Day in 1985. It went straight to #1 and stayed there for 3 weeks. The single Raspberry Beret reached #2 on the charts. His next album, Parade, went to #3 and spawned the hit single Kiss. After his Hit and Run tour in support of Parade, Prince disbanded The Revolution and fired his famous duo of co-musicians, Wendy and Lisa. In the 90s, during a drawn-out confrontation with his then recording company, Warner Brothers, Prince changed his name to an unpronounceable symbol. At that time, he was generally referred to as the artist formerly known as Prince. He stopped using the love symbol as his name and reverted back to his old name once his relationship with Warner Brothers had officially ended in May 2000. Prince released 5 records between 1994 and 1996 and signed with Arista Records in 1998. With Arista Records, Prince released 16 more albums. His most successful album of the 2000s was 2004's Musicology. Prince's final album, Hit and Run Phase 2, was released in 2015. Prince has long been regarded as one of the most talented and versatile musicians of all time. Prince had a net worth of $300 million at the time of his death. And thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss out on future content. Drop a comment below with your thoughts, and as always, stay awesome, and I'll catch you in the next one.